Welcome, colleagues. We're just going to walk you through the Nottingham Primary's targeted school offer, part of the cross-phase reading project for priority literacy, serving the schools of Nottingham City. We are the Derby Research Group, part of the consortium of organisations serving priority literacy, and we work in partnership with the National Literacy Trust, who's delivering the secondary strand of this cross-phase reading piece of work. So let's delve into the offer. So for Nottingham, the focus is both the Key Stage 2 writing, which is served by the fabulous Teresa Heathcote over in partnership with the Flying High English Hub. And we are working with the National Literacy Trust to deliver that cross-phase reading strand. The Derby Research Group working on Key Stage 2 and National Literacy Trust working on Key Stage 3. Ultimately, we're aiming towards supporting those priority area ambitions you can see there, but definitely trying to take the research and the evidence base, the best practice that's out there, and supporting that development of your reading offer in schools. So, as we've alluded to already, this is part of the larger targeted support offer. So as a targeted support school, you will already be completing your audit and also be working with your literacy specialist. So that will be your start point, as knowing where you are at the moment, having that really drill down aspect. So as a follow-up from that, as part of this cross-phase reading offer, we will be working with you to take that audit start point and develop it. And I think we need to really iterate that's a golden thread of the Key Stage 2 cross-phase reading work, is that everything that you put into those audits, the feedback from the literacy specialists, will inform those sessions to really ensure that it is a bespoke offer for you that helps us move forward. So with that in mind, there are two natural strands to the piece of work. First of all is to support you as a leader through the literacy networks to translate that start point with your literacy specialist, your action plan into action, and monitor and track change. And the second offer is to support you across schools, support your teachers, your TAs, in the specific themes that come across the composite domains of reading. So let's delve into, in the first instance, the literacy leadership networks. So let's anchor ourselves in this autumn 2 term. We will be working with our literacy specialists, having completed our audit and coming up with an action plan. We will then be launching this sequence of work to help staff familiarise themselves with the offer, whether they're a literacy leader or a member of staff in the wider school. But our first formal network kicks off in February. So this gives you time from creating the action plan to start managing that change. So by the 5th of February, we'll come back together, because we know that peer support, that peer collaboration from colleagues will help us to keep on track and help us to continue to develop. What will also happen in that network meeting is that we'll take information from the audit and from your literacy specialist to say, how can we further develop these literacy leads in schools? So is it some of the threads we've sort of emerging already is around diagnostic use of data? So actually drilling down into our reading data, drilling down into the types of diagnostic tools we can use to support reading, to really help us identify people need. Another thread that's kind of been an early aspect is around managing change, implementation theory, to really help us to anticipate the challenge of change and work in the most effective ways. Those threads then will continue all the way through Network 2 in April, where we'll go back and say, yes, where are we now? By June, you'll have your second visit with your literacy specialist, allowing us then to do that kind of a gateway point between this year and next academic year around how we're going to manage it before we look into the new academic year and the next networks for the new academic year. So hopefully you can see there that your development, your growth as a leader is a priority, and how we wrap around you so that you can really take that vision you're co-constructing with your literacy specialist and implement it into life in your schools. One of the threads you might be thinking about is, well, what if we have very specific areas of need and I need to train staff and I need to build my team's capacity for this? This is where the second dimensions around the training webinars come into play. This is where you as a literacy lead attend, along with your teachers and your TAs. These sessions are all webinars, so they're easily accessible. Schools, groups of colleagues can sit around a computer back at base. And also it does mean, because they're after school, there is no demand on release time for staff. So the first session is Talk for Learning in January. We then have the Learn to Read the Fluency work in the 29th of February, Developing Vocabulary and Nodding Towards the Writing Challenge on the 11th of March, Read to Learn on the 26th of March, and Reading for Pleasure on the 6th of June. That sequence of activity that goes throughout the whole year is very much, again, we'll be taking your start points from your audit to inform each of those sessions. But what we're building up is that holistic picture of all of the aspects that a reader needs to be confident in and perform within to build them towards fluency and being able to be confident in the classroom with those reading skills. And each and every stage we'll be looking at the practical strategies, both for whole class application, whole class teaching, as well as those interventions and targeted support. And where appropriate, we'll be pulling out themes around particular learner needs. That might be EAL learners, learners with SEND in specific aspects. So again, your audits will inform and guide us with those choices. We appreciate then that staff might want to do some follow-up work. So we do have a resource bank that we'll hook into and we'll signpost towards. What we want you to appreciate is that each and every one of those sessions will be delivered by a specialist and will allow you to really think about your practice in each of those domains and build and support your action planning back at base. So that's how the offer all fits together. So there's literacy leadership network meetings here and those 5 aspects of training for whole staff there. You do not have to have the same teachers or the same TAs come into each and every session. You can alternate who's in attendance depending on their role. So if you have a TA who's really focusing on fluency and learn to read aspects and supporting fluency, they might really benefit from coming along to that second session on the 29th of February, for example. So if you're interested, have a little look at that quick link, get hooked on as a targeted school, and we look forward to working with you. If in the meantime you've got any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with the Priority Literacy team. Follow us on Twitter or have a little look at our website and sign up. And we look forward to working with you.